The motive of clocks and watches are present throughout the film. The film is about the passage of time and its effect on the characters. So, the first meeting with Noodles and Max itself is signified by stealing a pocket clock. They prank each other with it, and finally, Max steals the time of Noodles. Noodles kept the key clock of Fat Mo, which caused him to lose his good old times. Then, in the final confrontation, Max shows the pocket clock, trying to manipulate him by bringing up old memories. That pocket clock on Max's side indicates how he stole the time away from Noodles. Throughout the film, Noodles and Max prank each other that they died. The second final prank, of course not for laughs, was Max faking his own death, taking the time and running away, leaving Noodles to live in grief. In the end, we see Max acting like he's gonna jump into the garbage truck, but doesn't because we see no blood or anything like that. Max has once again faked his death and will probably live somewhere till his old age, but Noodles still has the money. He can leave to somewhere and live with it alone. However, one key detail is that Noodles was not a guy who wanted money. So we have to ask whether he would even use it at his old age. He just wanted to live a simple life with his friends and loved ones, but his best friend and lover were more ambitious than him, causing him to screw them over, literally and figuratively. It's in a way poetic that Deborah and Max ended up together. Noodles in the opium den at the end of the film is probably what older Noodles wants to do or will do. To forget the betrayal, he would have to get high and imagine that nothing happened. But one could think maybe Noodles knows Max didn't die. That's why he's smiling at the end. Also, Max is deeply jealous of Noodles, and in a weird narcissistic way, that is exactly why he's friends with him. Every time Noodles does something, he takes it away, early on, in good nature, then in contempt. Max steals the drunk man Noodles was gonna steal from at the start, but helps Noodles out. Then they become friends. Then Noodles has sex with Peggy. Max does it too, but is impotent at the start, which is very telling. Then Noodles comes out of prison. He treats him to a fancy prostitute as a showcase of power of how much he has accomplished. Carol is a girl that Noodles went in and assaulted during the robbery. Then Max got her. Although it wasn't exactly Max's fault, but you can know what's going on. Women are used as a showcase of masculinity throughout the film, and Max one-ups him throughout. Noodles doesn't bother as much with it as he just wants to love, but Max is a deeply jealous person who has a desire for power and in turn sex. In this lifestyle, you either choose sex and dump any girl who gets in the way of business, or love one woman and not care so much about business or ambition. Finally, of course, Deborah was the girl Noodles loved all along, but couldn't have. Max was always jealous of it. He used the excuse of being his work partner to make him feel guilty about it, but of course, in the end, he got with her in his middle ages. If he wanted to, both him and Noodles could have turned legit and did gangster business more low key, but Max's ego was hurt, so he destroyed him. Plus, the other gangsters and big shots Max was involved with were also telling him to drop Noodles. After all, Noodles only came out of prison for a while. Max was the one who made the business with his friends all the time that Noodles was in prison. As with Deborah, she was a very interesting and tragic character. She might be the only likable main character in the entire film, probably the most tragic in this whole story. She had to give up her love for her dream of becoming an actress, but her own lover assaulted her for this decision. Also, the film ties in with Sergio Leone's previous films about carnage, brotherhood, and revenge, especially revenge. In Once Upon a Time in the West, Charles Bronson kills Henry Fonda because of the atrocities done to his Native American family. The final showdown is done in a grand epic way. In The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the three men all hate each other one way or another due to what happened over the course of the film's runtime. Eventually, Clint Eastwood gets his revenge on Eli Wallach and leaves him with nothing but gold. Wallach's character in a lot of ways is a parallel to James Woods in this movie, although James Woods' character is a much smarter guy. The climax of this film, too, is a revenge. But gone are the days of bloody Mexican standoffs. What we are left with is a refusal to kill, the refusal of death, because death is closure. Living with regret and grief is hell. Noodles too doesn't die. Noodles is life. When we look at it, it's just two prison sentences. One is a literal one, right after he takes revenge for Dominic, and the other is turning his friends in, although he didn't go to prison with them since he was in the opium den, and he lived his life thinking he betrayed them. So the only time he came back was to sort of get the closure for the sentence, is knowing that Max in fact betrayed him and not the other way around. The Chinese theater scenes at the very end are kind of a meta commentary about cinema itself and its effect on the viewers. The fact that it's in the same place as the opium den is telling. Cinema can have a powerful distractive effect, like a drug when it's done well. And we use cinema to get away from our problems and, escape from our problems, to make our own realities, like the dreamer who dreams and lives inside that dream. Quote from Upanishads. And it was also used by David Lynch in Twin Peaks Season 3. Just like the audience watching the puppet show about Pandavas and Kauravas from history, we, the audience, are also watching gangsters and friends battling it out in an old 1930s, 1970s settings, betraying each other. Even if we get betrayed, does it really mean anything? Noodles took the red pill when he decided to find out who invited him in the 1960s, but he still chose a blue pill of perceiving that his friend died. What difference does it really make whether we live in an illusion or a reality? An illusion that we created for ourselves, or the harsh reality? What is reality even? Is it the perception that we have, or is it what really happened? And are we really able to tell reality? So, what I got from the film in the end is that when we look at it closely, this living inside a dreamscape and drugging yourself is not gonna really help. It's going to be a really harsh life. And Noodles really tried to take drugs, run away, and just not face his real problems. And he got the short end of the stick at the end. Sorry, he got the long end of the stick. He got screwed over, basically. And Max, too, he thought he got away with it, but he also got screwed over by playing all this betrayal games and manipulations, gaslighting. So, yeah, we get this very epic story about why it is such a bad thing to, manipulate each other, gaslight each other, and do all that in this very, corrupt system. This movie talks about gangsters, but it could be applied to other professions as well, like businesses, startups, etc., etc. So, yeah, that's what I think. So, do let me know what you think about the film and what your theories are. This is my theory. And let me know if there are any other films that you want me to do an analysis for. And so, this is me signing out. This is Rizwan Rahman. Thank you for watching. Bye.